Promoters, here is a chance to boost your event or fete with MTV's irresistible television advertising specials. Book now and be wowed with party deals and good advertising coverage. Call our sales and marketing department on 440-8171 or via WhatsApp on 455-718. You can also send an email at mtvmarketinggd@gmail.com. Terms and conditions apply.
At the NIS, we're constantly looking for ways to better serve the evolving needs of our population. We learn from experiences, grow, and improve. Learning from the COVID-19 pandemic, we realized a gap in our benefits that needed addressing. We are happy to announce the commencement of the Unemployment Benefit Program. This benefit provides a recently unemployed individual with 50% of their insurable income. The benefit can be claimed up to 15 days after the loss of employment and continues for a maximum of 13 weeks or 3 months after the first claim. Workers in the private sector, public sector, statutory bodies, work permit holders, and the self-employed are eligible for this benefit. While many are eligible, some conditions must be met to qualify. The person must have been an insured employee who paid at least 52 weeks of contributions at the time of loss of employment. They must also be under the pensionable age. The person must not be at fault for the loss of their employment. This means that someone who voluntarily left their job or was terminated due to theft, fraud, or dishonesty will be disqualified for this benefit. For us to verify loss of employment, the employer must provide the individual with a termination certificate. Additionally, the claimant must conduct bi-weekly check-ins with the NIS and must be actively seeking suitable employment while in the receipt of this benefit. For the full qualifying conditions of the unemployment benefit, we encourage you to visit our website www.nisgrenada.org or call us on 440-3309.
Health, are you ready? Good. At the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Religious Affairs, we have prioritized as well as branded the year 2023 as the year of mental health and wellness. So we are extremely excited about it. Staff is excited about it. So thank you very much. Let's rock.
Shift the paradigm, mobilize and get back alive.
Grenada, this is the big one. The countdown has begun for the grand launch of Project Grenada Shifts. Safer, healthier, innovative moves for a transformative society. This mega event takes place on Thursday, 23rd March at Lassages Plainfield, St. David, with a massive health and wellness fair from 12 noon, a wellness walk from 5 p.m. led by Prime Minister the Honorable Deacon Mitchell and Health Minister Senator the Honorable Jonathan Lecret from the St. David Health Center to Lassages Plainfield. Fitness drills, health screenings, loads of entertainment, and much more, all powered by Wakati Sound System. So register early to get your t-shirts and paraphernalia by contacting the Ministry of Health on telephone 440-2649 extension 21021 or the St. David Health Center at 444-6249. Mark your calendars and join us. Move that body. Take full control of your health and wellness. This event is organized by the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Religious Affairs.
Easter is coming, and that means it's time to do some spring cleaning. It's time to upgrade and refresh your home today and save up to 30% off store-wide. Change off that old lounge chair, dining room table, or any furniture item now and save big. Plus, shop our large selection of appliances, televisions, and electronics for the biggest deals. No cash, no problem. Shop with Quartz Ready Finance and pay $0 for 30 days. And before you check out, don't forget to add extended warranty with our Quartz Super Shield product, which will protect your purchase for up to 4 years. This offer is available online at shopquartz.com for a limited time only. Act now before the deals are gone. Conditions apply. Quartz, bringing value home.
Hello and welcome to the MTV Evening News for Monday, the 20th of March. And coming up this evening, search for missing man concludes with his body found on Latant Beach. Increased surveillance for the avian or bird flu by health officials. Chairman of the Grenada Principals Association implores students to be mindful of activities outside of the classroom. And in sport, Champ Maitland is a winner of the 8-second bracket in Trinidad's Automobile Sports Association Championship Series Round 2. We'll have details to those and other stories coming up for you, right along with the public service information. And right after the break, stay with us.
It's the Quartz Optical Annual Frame Event. Get up to 85% off on selected frames. Book your appointment at www.quartzoptical.com. Get that frame today with no cash from 3 to 24-month credit plans. You don't want to miss it. The Annual Frame Event, up to 85% off, only at Quartz Optical. See in store for details. Quartz Optical, value you can see.
The first segment of the MTV Evening News comes to you compliment Nexa Credit Union. With you wherever your road leads.
When you need someone to help you to your feet, I'll be that beacon to your highest peak. Oh, I'll be right next to you, no, I will never leave. Come on, take my hands, we got everything we need. 'Cause you can look to me, yes, I can. Whenever you're in need, yes, you can. Just call on me and I'll be on my way.
Nexa Credit Union, with you wherever your road leads.
Good evening, I'm Tony Julian with the details. The search for a father of two who went missing late on Sunday evening at Russian Point, St. David, concluded on Monday morning after his body was found on Latant Beach. MTV News was on the scene and filed this report.
The Fort family of Latant St. David and other surrounding areas is mourning the death of their loved one. Dead is David Fort, a father of two from Latant St. David. Fort was found by a friend on Latant Beach on Monday. Fort allegedly went missing at Russian Point on Sunday, 19th.
And that's my younger brother. It's unfortunate what occurred here today. We as a family are truly disheartened and we are really distressed at this event. Nonetheless, we have to stay strong and stick together as a family.
That was Nicole Fort, sister of the deceased. She says she found out her brother was missing Sunday afternoon. According to her, the deceased is 47 years old.
Not that I'm aware of, because my brother lived with his family It was very shocking because he did not go to the beach, and that is shocking what transpired because that's the least I was expecting to hear yesterday. And we were hoping to be hopeful.
Police are currently investigating the circumstances surrounding Fort's death. This is the second body to be found in just 4 days. On Friday, police was called to the scene at the National Stadium where the body of an elderly man was discovered in one of the bathrooms. Investigations into that discovery is still ongoing. For MTV News, Troy Gill.
Public Information and Communications Officer in the Ministry of Health, Kevin Frederick, provided an update on the increased surveillance for the avian or bird flu, a type of virus that affects animals and birds and, if detected locally, can have serious implications for the poultry industry. This all follows reports of countries in the region being on the alert for avian influenza H5N1 in the Caribbean. According to Frederick, health and agricultural officials are currently monitoring the situation. However, no cases were found.
Well, where we are with that, we continue to advise and educate the public on the importance again of hand washing and to be extra vigilant. With respect to what you call as the bird flu, we are working in synergy with the Ministry of Agriculture, that is the veterinary department, Dr. Cummins and his team. I know that they had a sit down with our CMO, Dr. Sean Charles, and so it's all about monitoring and advising the public. We are not under any direct threat at this time, and so because of that, there is no need to panic. We are vigilant, we are monitoring, which is a process. So we would continue to assess the situation, and once there is any evidence that requires us to inform the public, we will do so in a timely manner.
Frederick also provided an update on the rate of infection of individuals with respiratory infections who continue to increase.
We have seen ARI. There is also an increase in our acute respiratory infections. I can tell you that the number of cases reported thus far is 330, and of that, the total number of males is 116, the total number of females is 214. And the age range, again, when we look at our numbers, the 1 to 4s are just above 75, the 5 to 14s and the 25 to 44, they are just above bordering 60 thereabout.
Principal of the Presentation Brothers College, or PBC, and chairman of the Grenada Principals Association, Dominic Jeremiah, continues to implore students to be mindful of their activities outside of the classroom. There have been reports of another video surfacing and circulating online, purportedly of students engaged in adult sexual activity. Dominic continues to affirm the adage that society has to play a role in raising the younger generation.
Well, I want to begin by stating that the entire society has responsibility for our children and our young people. And from time to time, young people may engage in activities that are unacceptable. And so while on the one hand, we have to encourage them and continue to talk to them to desist from these kinds of behavior, on the other hand, we have a responsibility also to support them, to find the means and the medium to correct them and help them to go past whatever the behavior has been.
Although he says they must be held responsible, he adds that he does not believe that young people should be condemned by the public for their actions.
It is the case that sometimes, students may engage in activity that they ought not to engage in, and then we have to deal with this as a society. But we certainly don't want to condemn them, and we don't want to treat them in such a way that it makes the situation worse. And having said that, I think it's also important to say that we have to teach our students and our young people to take responsibility for their behavior, to take responsibility for their choices. Because our rights that we talk about all the time has two facets to it. It has, the rights that must be protected, but it also has the element of each individual being obligated to do the right thing.
The first in a series of consultations on the new design for the Florida government school has begun. Work is expected to begin on the school before the end of 2023, and the government, together with the contracting team of Glean's Construction, met with stakeholders who expressed content with the presentation, although some suggestions were made to revise certain aspects of the new design. The Education Minister, David Andrew, has highlighted the plans for the school, which will soon be presented to parents and other residents in the area.
Promises to have some new blocks added, some elements of demolition and conservation in some areas to preserve the historical and cultural significance of some of the buildings and so on the premise. So what we had was just a sharing with a view that should any one of these stakeholders have additional requests to be made, they can be factored in and tweaked in redesigning towards a final design. So, but most parties were thrilled by what they had seen, and we really look forward to going forward and making this become a reality soonest.
Parliamentary Representative for St. John and Minister for Climate Resilience, Environment and Renewable Energy, Karen James, looks forward to the start of construction.
Prior to becoming the MP for the constituency, I knew some of the challenges that the students and staff had faced over quite a number of years in terms of infrastructure-wise of the Florida government school. One of the mandates for me as the elected MP was to visit the school to see firsthand what are the challenges and to see how best we can collaborate as ministries to ensure that the students and staff get some sort of alleviation of the infrastructure needs. Coming here today, this morning, and seeing the new design, the new model of the school, I think that Florida Government School is in a place where they can be the envy of all primary schools in St. John. I believe that in particular to the community and the area, it would bring a different value to it. It would encourage the students, encourage the community members there to bring their children to the school to be educated there.
Daneline Hosford, president of the school's PTA, and Carol Ellis, a grade 3 teacher at the school, both look forward to the construction of the new and improved facility.
I didn't know what to expect, but when I got there and I saw what was prepared for us, I was really elated. Just about everything we expected, we anticipated is in there. Just with a little twist here and there, tweaking, but we are good. We are happy with it. We are comfortable. We put the rooms, we want to do some switching, we want to put our principals and so on. We want a fence. I think that was already in the proposal, but there are some additional things that we want to do, that we want to take care of. And I think going forward it will be good.
Very elated. I am very happy that we are at this juncture where we actually have designs on paper. Most times, sometimes you hear that the government is doing something or the ministry is doing something, and sometimes you wonder, when is it going to happen? But to be here today and actually see the drawings on paper, it's a big thing for the school, and we are very, very happy that we are at this point.
To successfully retain a highly competitive position in any organization is always a commendable feat and speaks volumes of people's confidence in one's work. The words there used to describe the recent re-election of two presidents who head the nation's largest trade unions. Public and political commentator William Joseph speaking to MTV News on the re-election of Brian Grimes and Jude Bartholomew as the head of the Grenada Public Workers Union and the Grenada Union of Teachers to serve another term consecutively means that the members are satisfied with their performance thus far.
Anytime there's a situation where incumbents are re-elected, and especially in a context where, as in this case, or these two cases, one cannot talk about rigged elections or any kind of unfairness in the elections. Really what one is facing is a situation where the membership of those two trade unions are demonstrating their confidence in the two individuals concerned. And the confidence, of course, must have been based on the quality of the leadership provided by both gentlemen over the relevant period.
Engaging employers on issues affecting the membership of the unions is the first step. However, achieving results is what matters most, Joseph says.
The advocacy, the representation, and especially the results produced. Especially that, it's not simply a question of confronting the employer or engaging the employer. That's one thing. The more critical aspect, in my view, is the question of the results achieved. And in both cases, the public evidence is that these two presidents and the leadership of their respective unions have in fact produced notable results for their respective memberships.
That's the first segment of the news. We'll be back with you after the break.
The first segment of the MTV Evening News came to you in association with Nexa Credit Union. With you wherever your road leads.
For when you need someone to help you to your feet, I'll be that beacon to your highest peak. I'll be right next to you, no, I will never leave. Come on, take my hands, we got everything we need. Cause you can look to me, yes, I can. Whenever you're in need, yes, you can. Just call on me and I'll be on my way. I'll be by your side, never to divide. The light that shines our way. Wherever your road leads, we'll be right there with you. Wherever your road leads, we'll make your dreams come true.
Nexa Credit Union, with you wherever your road leads.
With just $2, you can gift yourself with a chance to win the Lotto jackpot. Now, imagine winning the National Lotteries Authority jackpot of $44,000. Why pass up on this winning opportunity? Lotto, play and win a lot of money.
When a loved one passes on, we all need the comfort, support, and guidance of a trusted friend. You can rely on LaCroix Brothers Funeral Home. We provide a personalized professional service that exceeds all expectations. Our dedicated staff responds to your every need with the greatest detail, ensuring affordability with a variety of options. Our upgraded state-of-the-art facilities, spacious air-conditioned chapel with live internet streaming, a modern, environmentally safe crematorium, the only of its kind on island, private viewing spaces, large on-site repast center, a modern transportation fleet. Join our burial society today and make personalized arrangements for that final moment. As you prepare to enter your loved one into eternal rest, visit or call LaCour Brothers Funeral Home and select a package that brings added comfort to the entire family. LaCour Brothers Funeral Home and Burial Society, continuing a tradition of excellence.
Larry, I love the new home. Did you remember the tips we discussed?
As a matter of fact, they were very helpful. We always follow the manufacturer's guidelines, check for damaged cords, turn off electrical equipment before cleaning, and we never overload sockets.
And we always use a licensed electrician for electrical work and a certified technician for repairs.
Grenlink, energizing our Grenada.
Co-op Bank introduces e-payments, our new e-banking feature that allows you to make payments online hassle-free.
Log in securely with biometric technology. Make recurring payments easier with automated scheduling.
Save time by paying your bills online. Transfer money to accounts at other local and regional banks. Send wire transfers on the go to anywhere in the world. Or send money to friends or family using Buddy Payment. E-payments, the swift, simple, and secure way of transferring money. Welcome home.
Grenada, it's time to show off your national colors on Friday, March 24. The Spice Boys take on the United States of America in a CONCACAF Nations League showdown. Game time 8 p.m. at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Tickets are $75 lower stand, $50 upper main stand, $40 secondary stand, $25 bleachers. Tickets available online from goodofet.com or Grenadian Optical, Cherokee's Bar, Lixon Bar, Shine's Bar, Calico Satans, Maxie's Bar, and St. David's Pharmacy. Grenada versus the USA. 8 p.m. Friday, March 24. National Colors, National Pride. Sponsored by the Grenada Bottling Company, Serial Bay Express, Glenelg Natural Spring Water, and the Karen Nations League Showdown. 8 p.m. Friday, March 24th.
The second segment of MTV News is brought to you in association with the Communal Cooperative Credit Union Limited. To grow with us, save with us.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
for your education,
For your financial freedom.
for that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
Welcome back. World Oral Health Day is recognized globally on the 20th of March, and the theme for this year was Be Proud of Your Mouth. Acting Chief Dental Surgeon in the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Religious Affairs, Dr. Festina Hamlet, delivered an address to mark the occasion.
Oral health is an essential part of your overall health and well-being, whether you are 5, 25, 45, 75, or 95 years old. The best blessings you can give is your beautiful smile. Just like other major diseases, prevention, early detection, and treatment of oral diseases is important to stop any negative effects on the rest of the body. Smiles are free, but they are worth a lot.
Dr. Hamlet also highlighted the factors which are commonly associated with poor oral health, including a poor diet, and she continues to implore on individuals to take steps toward improving oral health and to thereby prevent oral diseases.
Tooth decay is the most common health condition in the world, caused by unhealthy diets, high in sugar, as well as exposure to other risk factors. Oral disease affects nearly 3.5 billion people around the world, often leading to loss of self-confidence and lost hours at work and school. We can prevent these occurrences if we practice a good oral hygiene routine. We have all heard the statement, "You are what you eat." So let's make the difference by changing our eating habits. Eating excessive amounts of sugar from snacks, processed foods and drinks not only cause tooth decay, but is also a major contributor to obesity and diabetes. Let's all work to reduce the statistics.
A young man who was diagnosed with an eye condition which may have led to permanent loss of vision paused to say thanks to the public for their generous donations and to the various entities who facilitated the donation drive to offset the costs of his operation overseas, which according to him was a success.
11-year-old Jaden Paris was diagnosed with bilateral congenital cataract and required financial assistance to cover travel and other living expenses for an operation in Barbados is back and pauses to say thanks to the public and in particular the Leo clubs of both St. Andrew and St. George. Our news team spoke to President of the Leo Club of St. Andrew at the Leo Club of St. George headquarters on Thursday.
This project started in collaboration with the Leo Club of St. George's back in 2022 in August. Right, we were able to reach out to the general public and they supported us through our donation drives, and through that we were able to raise over $4,000 for Mr. Paris to aid him in his medical expenses on his trip to Barbados for treatment.
President of the Leo of St. George is Raheem Smith.
Last year, 2022, in August, we had two fundraiser drives. So the first was held in the town of Grenville in St. Andrew, where both clubs would have walked around the streets of Grenville asking for donations from the general public in Grenville. And the second fundraiser was held here in St. George's, where again both clubs came together and walked around the streets of St. George's asking the general public to kindly donate to the cause of supporting Mr. Jaden Paris.
Our news team also spoke to the man of the hour, Jaden Paris.
Since I got the surgery done, I'm more happier, I'm more well, and I'm happy to get back my sight. And I just want to give a special thank you to Lotto for paying for my glasses. I really appreciate it, and thank you for all the donations. We really appreciate it. I want to give another special thank you to the Leo clubs for raising over $4,000 for me to go to Barbados, my trip to get my surgery done. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Mother of young Jaden is Velma Paris.
And today we come together again to thank the general public for the kind support towards us. All those who donated to this cause, we thank you. We really appreciate you. And then I want to also say a special thanks to the World Pediatric Project. They were the ones who paid for the surgery and get us to Barbados. I organized everything for the Barbados with the doctors and everything. And also want to thank Lottery Authority because they paid for his glasses also.
For MTV News, Troy Gill.
It's the MTV Evening News Monday, and in this week's edition of MTV's Business in 3, Donella Hostin speaks with Andre Bernard, chef and owner of Dre's Flavors, a quiet and scenic restaurant in the countryside. Bernard prides himself on his culinary skills and talents, as he uses locally grown fruit and vegetables in all the foods and drinks prepared at his restaurant. So, of course, if you're looking for that cozy space to dine, celebrate, or just relax with or without company, Dr. Flavors is the place to be.
Good evening, viewers, and welcome to another edition of MTV's Business in 3. Today we are speaking with Andre Bernard, chef and owner of Dre Flavors, located in Telescope, St. Andrew. Mr. Bernard will be telling us a little bit about his business and why we should patronize.
It was always my long-time dream to
own a restaurant, open a restaurant. Always had a joy for cooking. I understand ingredients very well, so when I put them together, my friends at a very early age used to flock to my house to try some of my dishes that I would partake in cooking. And I took it a notch. I got the opportunity to work on cruise ship, and that's where I basically start my professional culinary journey. So I decided to open Dre Flavors restaurant. We are pretty much new. This is only our 4th week, so I'm going to give you a little rundown of basically what we do here at Dre Flavors. So at Dre Flavors, basically what we do is we provide a seated service for people who want to come and relax. It's in a quiet environment. The neighborhood is pretty much quiet. There isn't a hustle and a bustle of traffic passing that would disrupt you when you're having this dining experience. So what we provide here is a sit-down a la carte all-day menu at the moment. So at any time of the day, you could come in and have any item on the menu. We here will try to provide you with a taste of Grenada.
Is there any item on the menu that you would definitely recommend to your patrons?
All. It's basically difficult to really pick one item because every item on the menu has been thought of. Also, my use of our local flavors on fruits and vegetables that I will use in our on my cheesecake. So there's a lot of stuff that's on the menu that people is getting a hype on and is giving me good reviews on. People that is having difficulty finding us, you could find us in 2 ways. You could take the road from SAS School when you're entering from Canal and take it all the way down. After you cross the second hump, you make that left by the white picket fence. There's a fire hydrant there. The same road that will take you to the housing scheme. Also, right after Progress Park or before Progress Park, there is 2 roads. So Progress Park is in the middle of 2 roads. Those 2 roads basically take you back to Telescope and also back to the Bunpan area. My contact number is 405-6714 or 438-5740.
So there you have it, guys. We were speaking with Andre Bernard, owner and chef at Dre Flavors. Thank you for viewing MTV's Business in 3. I am Donna, the host.
And that's the second segment of news. We have regional highlights coming up.
The second segment of MTV News was brought to you in association with the Communal Cooperative Credit Union Limited. To grow with us, save with us.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business.
For your education.
For your financial freedom.
For that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
Do you know, when you play the games of the National Lotteries Authority, you are supporting sports, culture, and nation building in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit-Martinique?
Hi, I am Junior Murray, cricket coach, sports enthusiast, and a former West Indies cricketer. I endorse the games of the NLA 100%. For the past 40 years, the NLA has been funding many sporting activities, including competition for schools and clubs, and for athletes to participate in overseas tournaments such as the Carifta Games and the regional cricket tournaments. Additionally, they made it possible for you, the public, to view local, regional, and international tournaments from the comfort of your homes. For those reasons, I play the game of the NLA. Even if I do not win, I know Grenada always wins.
Yes, when you play all the games, the NLA in turn supports sports, culture, and nation-building activities throughout the Tri-Island state.
Boy, yo, they gonna fly with kite now. The wind picking up.
I'm coming. Karim, what you doing?
Fly my kite.
Yeah, but not here. You can't fly kite near power lines, boy.
Why not? The wind good.
Because mommy say kite threads conduct electricity.
Yeah, kite. He's right. If your kite gets stuck in power lines, it can cause power outages, or even worse, it can get shocked.
Come, let's go and fly them in the pasture.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Grenlink, energizing our Grenada.
At Bailey's Funeral Home, we understand the pain and grief you experience when you suffer the loss of a loved one. For years, we have helped thousands of families get through that difficult time by providing professional funeral services to meet their unique needs. Whether your choice is cremation or burial, call us or come into our new facility on the Carenage and meet with our arrangers in a spacious and comfortable environment. Choose from a wide variety of quality coffins and caskets at prices from as low as $1,900. At Bailey's Funeral Home, we believe that no one should feel overwhelmed or anxious about funeral expenses. So when it's time to plan a funeral, join a burial society, or make pre-arrangements when service and costs matter, call Bailey's Funeral Home at 440-2558 or visit us at baileysfuneralhome.org. Bailey's Funeral Home, still providing the perfect tribute any family can afford.
Easter is coming, and that means it's time to do some spring cleaning. It's time to upgrade and refresh your home today and save up to 30% off store-wide. Change off that old lounge chair, dining room table, or any furniture item now and save big. Plus, shop our large selection of appliances, televisions, and electronics for the biggest deals. No cash, no problem. Shop with Quartz Ready Finance and pay $0 for 30 days. And before you check out, don't forget to add extended warranty with our Quartz Super Shield product, which will protect your purchase for up to 4 years. This offer is available online at shopquartz.com for a limited time only. Act now before the deals are gone. Conditions apply. Quartz, bringing value home.
Co-op Bank introduces e-payments, our new e-banking feature that allows you to make payments online hassle-free.
Log in securely with biometric technology. Make recurring payments easier with automated scheduling.
Save time by paying your bills online. Transfer money to accounts at other local and regional banks. Send wire transfers on the go to anywhere in the world. Or send money to friends or family using Buddy Payment. E-payments, the swift, simple, and secure way of transferring money.
Welcome home. From the farm to the store to your home. Supporting farmers, catering for your needs. The Food Fair Supermarket provides fresh fruits and vegetables from its 2 convenient locations for over 5 decades. The Food Fair Supermarkets, where you can fill your baskets without emptying your pockets.
The third segment of MTV News is brought to you in association with Ariza Credit Union. Your financial freedom, your future.
Ridgeway Residences, a modern, exclusive residential community offered by Ariza. Purchase one of our completely built houses or let us build for you by simply choosing your lot, choosing your home design from our selection, and let us do the rest. Owning a home does not have to be a frustrating process. For more information, contact Ariza Credit Union on 415-0994 or send us an email on info@ridgewayresidences.gd. Ridgeway Residences, hassle-free home ownership.
Welcome back to the MTV News Monday. We hand things over now to Clifton James for the latest regional roundup.
Good evening with tonight's MTV Regional Roundup. I am Clifton James. The St. Vincent and the Grenadines Teachers Union and the Public Service Union Monday called on public sector workers to protest outside the financial complex against the government's decision to appeal last week's High Court decision in the vaccine mandate trial. The Police Welfare Association, whose industrial action options are limited by law, welcomed the ruling by Justice Esco Henry and called on the government to accept the court order. In its ruling, the High Court said public sector workers dismissed under the mandate never cease to be employed and are entitled to all their wages and other benefits. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves said retired jurists are among those who, he said, are questioning the implication of the decision of the court in the vaccine case. Speaking on a radio programme, Gonsalves reiterated that his government would appeal the court ruling and would also ask the court to stay the execution of the judgment. Now we are satisfied that what we did as a government was right, was proper, was legal, was constitutional, said Gonsalves, an attorney who is also the Minister of Legal Affairs. And we consider that the judgment of the learned trial judge is wrong, he said, adding that his government has been properly advised on this by its lead lawyer on the matter, senior counsel Anthony Astafan, as well as former judges, retired judges, including of the Court of Appeal, advised by academicians, professors at the University of the West Indies. So the first thing is that a judgment by a single judge is not. We're not just going to accept that, Gonsalves said, adding that the matter has to be properly ventilated before the Court of Appeal or even further, if necessary. Caribbean Community CARICOM countries will be represented at the two-day meeting on transnational organised crime in the global fishing industry. The March 23 to 24 event, which is being described as the largest global high-level forum, is organised jointly by the United Nations Development Programme and the Government of Norway. Government ministers from Jamaica, Montserrat, Dominica, Grenada, St. Kitts Nevis, Barbados, Belize, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Suriname and the Turks and Caicos Islands will address the event. The Executive Director of the Belize-based Caribbean Regional Fisheries Mechanism, Secretariat, Milton Horton, and Gavin Bellamy, Chief Executive Officer of the National Fisheries Authority in Jamaica, in attendance. Countries and communities across the world are dependent on the sea, its resources, and the opportunities it holds for the economy, food, and well-being of both people and planet. Fisheries crime undermines the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, and poses serious threats to marine ecosystems, economic development, and global food security, according to a statement issued ahead of the virtual meeting. It said that with political leaders from over 35 countries and territories from 6 continents represented, the Blue Justice Conference 2023 is a unique opportunity to accelerate international efforts to strengthen global capacity and interagency cooperation for the prevention and law enforcement of fisheries crime and towards the fulfillment of the SDGs. The United Nations and its partners on Sunday issued an urgent appeal for increased humanitarian access and resources for Haiti. The UN stated that the humanitarian situation across the French-speaking Caribbean community, CARICOM country, continues to deteriorate day by day due to a spiral of violence, emergencies related to protection, human rights and food insecurity, as well as an epidemic of cholera. In a statement following a 2-day mission, the Acting Director of Operations and Advocacy Division of the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, OCHA, Tariq Talamar, said, "We cannot let Haiti become a forgotten crisis." The influence of armed gangs is growing exponentially in Port-au-Prince and beyond, including the anti-Bonite department, the country's breadbasket, Talamar said. The statement said that 6 representatives of UN aid agency and international NGOs met with people affected by the humanitarian crisis, as well as local and international partners, as well as acting Prime Minister Ariel Henry and other government officials. The delegation also met with representatives of communities in areas controlled or under the influence of armed gangs. That was your regional roundup for tonight. I am Clifton James.
This is the MTV Evening News. We'll be back with you after the break.
The third segment of MTV News was brought to you in association with Arise Credit Union. Your financial freedom, your future.
Ridgeway Residences, a modern, exclusive residential community offered by Ariza. Purchase one of our completely built houses or let us build for you by simply choosing your lot, choosing your home design from our selection, and let us do the rest. Owning a home does not have to be a frustrating process. For more information, contact Ariza Credit Union on 415-0994 or send us an email on info@ridgewayresidences.gd. Ridgeway Residences, hassle-free home ownership.
You're watching the MTV Evening News. Sporting highlights are next.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3.
Thinking about your new home? Think easy. Think a Republic Bank Home Easy Loan. Think affordable. Think convenience. Think Republic.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3. Republic makes home easy.
Wow, that was such a breeze.
Own your home with ease.
So whether laying that first brick or purchasing an existing home, we've got you covered. Republic Bank will get you those keys hassle-free in no time.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3.
Apply for a Home Easy Loan today for a chance to win a cash prize. Getting your new home is easy with Republic Bank.
Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
Terms and conditions apply.
What does it take to be an amazing woman? Lots of me time. Amazing women are classy, fancy, and a little sassy. It's the drink for me. Cheers! Sometimes you've got to show them who's boss. Alpha male? Nah, alpha females are more amazing. Cheers to securing the bag. We make time for ourselves, for work, friends, and we certainly make time for passion. We're simply amazing. Amazing cream liqueur for the amazing woman in you.
Do you know, when you play the games of the National Lotteries Authority, you are supporting sports, culture, and nation building in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit-Martinique?
Hi, I am Junior Murray, cricket coach, sports enthusiast, and a former West Indies cricketer. I endorse the games of the NLA 100%. For the past 40 years, the NLA has been funding many sporting activities, including competition for schools and clubs, and for athletes to participate in overseas tournaments such as the Carifta Games and regional cricket tournaments. Additionally, they made it possible for you, the public, to view local, regional, and international tournaments from the comfort of your homes. For those reasons, I play the game of the NLA. Even if I do not win, I know Grenada always wins.
Yes, when you play all the games, the NLA in turn supports sports, culture, and nation-building activities throughout the Tri-Island state.
Promoters, here is a chance to boost your event or fete with MTV's irresistible television advertising specials. Book now and be wowed with party deals and good advertising coverage. Call our sales and marketing department on 440-8171 or via WhatsApp on 455-5718. You can also send an email at mtvmarketinggd@gmail.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Holy Natural Spring Water is a water for every occasion. On the field of sports, at your workplace, just open the bottle and savor the pure, refreshing taste. Holy Natural Spring Water is produced in Mama Can St. Andrews and is available in all sizes nationwide. To order, telephone 444-7654 or 533-7654. Holy Natural Spring Water, Grenada's purest bottled water.
Grenada. It's time to show off your national colors. On Friday, March 24, the Spice Boys take on the United States of America in a CONCACAF Nations League showdown. Game time 8 p.m. at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Tickets are $75 lower stand, $50 upper main stand, $40 secondary stand, $25 bleachers. Tickets available online from goodofet.com or Grenadian Optical, Cherokee's Bar, Licks and Bite, Shine's Bar, Calico Satans, Maxie's Bar, and St. David's Pharmacy. Grenada versus the USA. 8 p.m. Friday, March 24th. National Colors, National Pride. Sponsored by the Grenada Bottling Company, Serial Bay Express, Glenelg Natural Spring Water, and the Karen Nations League Showdown. 8 p.m. Friday, March 24th.
Champ Maitland is the winner of the 8-second bracket in Trinidad's Automobile Sports Association Championship Series Round 2. We have that highlight and more coming up for you in our sporting segment.
The MTV Evening Sports is brought to you in association with Quartz, bringing value home.
It's the Quartz Optical Annual Frame Event. Get up to 85% off on selected frames. Book your appointment at www.quartzoptical.com. Get that frame today with no cash from 3 to 24-month credit plans. You don't want to miss it. The Annual Frame Event. Up to 85% off. Only at Quartz Optical. See in store for details. Quartz Optical. Value you can see.
A special evening to you now, sporting fans. Here are your highlights.
Good evening, sporting fans. Grenadian drag racer Champ Maitland is the winner of the 8-second bracket in the Trinidad and Tobago Automobile Sports Association Championship Series Round 2 by running the fastest 8-second pass of the day and his personal best and first 8-second pass of 8.85 seconds at 158 miles per hour with his 2JZ Supra. Maitland also shares some words after his winning race.
Today was actually the day we decided to promote and try to see 8.8, yeah. We were really happy to come. You had to feel at the car, learn the car some more, and try to better sometimes. So we really appreciate today. And today was the most amazing day in a long time.
Austin Mitchell did a personal best of 9.3 seconds in the street bike category, making him the fastest street bike in Grenada. Here are the highlights. Sprangs and Logan Jet Stars have retained their senior division title in the 2023 Nexa Credit Union Peter David Margaret Dow Netball Tournament, while the Babs Simpson Netball Academy copped the junior title. Sprangs Jetsters and the Academy played unbeaten throughout the tournament. In the Peter David Fast 5 knockout, Net Stars knocked out Blue Rebels to win the knockout title. Rattlers defeated Dodgers for the first time 10-7 in Tiny Mids division. The Babs Simpson Netball Academy won over Top Strikers to win the junior division 19-6, and Peter David team defeated the Nexa Credit Union team in a nail-biting encounter 27-24. At the closing ceremony, winners were presented with prizes, medals, and trophies. Ritisha Boyd, manager of Nexa Credit Union, and Marcus Purcell, marketing and product development officer of Nexa, Mr. Derek James, represented Honorable Peter David, part sponsor of the tournament, and Master Joshua Dow represented the Dow family among the officials present at Saturday's closing. The Queen's Park Rangers netball team is truly appreciative of all those over the past 14 years who participated in the tournament and worked diligently to make it successful. The new Public Relations Officer of Netball Grenada, Tiffany Frederick, spoke with MTV Sports, highlighting the upcoming events the association is hosting.
All right, so first point on the agenda is the national netball competition that we'll be hosting. Also, we'll be having a tri-series against Elbasan Club in Trinidad and Tobago. They will be playing the national female and male team. The first game will be on the 31st of March at Grenville Hardcourt. The second game will be on the 1st of April at Tantine. And the third game will be at Cuthbert Peters Park in Guelph. That's on the 2nd of April. Also, on the 1st of April, we'll be hosting a national competition where we'll have maybe at least 2 games playing and then a tri-series.
And that's it for sports. I am Tonya St. Louis Lawrence. Thanks for joining us.
So the latest sporting highlights there. That means, viewers, we still have ahead for you the public forecast information and then a recap of the headlines, all when we return.
The MTV Evening Sports was brought to you in association with Quartz, bringing value home.
MTV Weather Report comes to you in association with Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
Need a quick, convenient way to pay your bills and avoid lines? Use the online banking feature from Republic Bank, First Caribbean, or Co-op Bank. Contact them today to set up your online banking and enjoy 24-hour convenience to make your bill payments. Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
Good Monday evening, viewers, and back once again with the nighttime weather forecast and meteorologist Wayne Williams. After these showers caused by that surface trough over the weekend, conditions did improve into Sunday. A few more showers returned on Sunday night and also today from some residual cloudiness from that decaying trough. That brought some showers mostly over the central Caribbean islands. 1 or 2 very brief ones here, but we enjoyed lots of brilliant sunshine. That trough is dissipating, even though it continues over the open Atlantic. We're keeping our eyes on another one entering the northwestern Caribbean. That's still some distance away, but it's always important to keep a close look, keep a close eye on them as they head into the northern Caribbean area. No other major features around. The haze has cleared up significantly. Some slight haze far in the Atlantic of no concern to us or no bother to us at the present moment. We can see that residual cloudiness from that decaying system move across the central islands, brought some showers there. 1 or 2 other patches around, mostly to the northeast of Grenada, going to pass through and dissipate slowly as they do so through the night. Still is a possibility of 1 or 2 brief showers tonight and into the early morning. The forecast for Monday night, apart from the 50% chance of a few isolated showers, generally fair conditions would prevail. Winds would be easterly between 10 and 22 miles per hour. minimum temperature 24. The moon set this afternoon at 5:51. It's going to rise tomorrow morning at 6:08. Generally fair conditions are expected on Tuesday. It will also be windy. Winds would be easterly between 12 and 24 miles per hour. Possible occasional higher gusts. Choppy seas, so exercise caution if you have to venture far from port. Waves are going to be in the range of 5 to 7 feet in open waters. Sunrise 6:10, sunset 6:17. Temperature will climb to 31. Feel a wee bit hotter, more like 33. Partly cloudy conditions are in store for the folks in Port of Spain, with generally fair in Bridgetown, and showers should roll into Kingston as that trough moves into the area there. Mostly sunny skies in both Miami and in New York, and London is in for morning showers. Back at home, generally fair conditions should prevail on Wednesday and Thursday. By Thursday afternoon, the cloudiness will continue to decrease. Mostly fair skies from Friday through the weekend and into the next work week. That's it for me for Monday night, folks. Have yourself a great night and join me again on Tuesday.
MTV Weather Report was brought to you in association with Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
And now to end the news, a recap of the main stories. The search for a missing man has concluded as his body was found on the Tant Beach. Increased surveillance for the avian bird flu by health officials. Chairman of the Grenada Principals Association implores students to be mindful of their activities outside of the classroom. And in sport, Champ Maitland is the winner of the 8-second bracket in Trinidad's Automobile Sports Association Championship Series Round 2. Now, just before we go, a reminder for you to join Austin Crosby. That'll be tomorrow, Tuesday, from 7:35 morning time for another informative edition of Rise and Shine. So remember, at 25 minutes to 8 tomorrow morning, MTV. That's the place to be with Austin Crosby on Rise and Shine. All for now, on behalf of the News and Production Departments, I'm Tony Julian. We all thank you for viewing and wish you a good night.
At the NIS, we're constantly looking for ways to better serve the evolving needs of our population. We learn from experiences, grow, and improve. Learning from the COVID-19 pandemic, we realized a gap in our benefits that needed addressing. We are happy to announce the commencement of the Unemployment Benefit Program. This benefit provides a recently unemployed individual with 50% of their insurable income. The benefit can be claimed up to 15 days after the loss of employment and continues for a maximum of 13 weeks or 3 months after the first claim. Workers in the private sector, public sector, statutory bodies, work permit holders, and the self-employed are eligible for this benefit. While many are eligible, some conditions must be met to qualify. The person must have been an insured employee who paid at least 52 weeks of contributions at the time of loss of employment. They must also be under the pensionable age. The person must not be at fault for the loss of their employment. This means that someone who voluntarily left their job or was terminated due to theft, fraud, or dishonesty will be disqualified for this benefit. For us to verify loss of employment, the employer must provide the individual with a termination certificate. Additionally, the claimant must conduct bi-weekly check-ins with the NIS and must be actively seeking suitable employment while in the receipt of this benefit. For the full qualifying conditions of the unemployment benefit, we encourage you to visit our website www.nisgrenada.org or call us on 440-3309.
At Bailey's Funeral Home, we understand the pain and grief you experience when you suffer the loss of a loved one. For years, we have helped thousands of families get through that difficult time by providing professional funeral services to meet their unique needs. Whether your choice is cremation or burial, call us or come into our new facility on the Carenage and meet with our arrangers in a spacious and comfortable environment. Choose from a wide variety of quality coffins and caskets at prices from as low as $1,900. At Bailey's Funeral Home, we believe that no one should feel overwhelmed or anxious about funeral expenses. So when it's time to plan a funeral, join a burial society, or make pre-arrangements when service and costs matter, call Bailey's Funeral Home at 440-2558 or visit us at baileysfuneralhome.org. Bailey's Funeral Home, still providing the perfect tribute any family can afford.
Cosmas Ezekiel Ed, also known as Brother Ed of Lamode and Tempe St. George and H.A. Blair Street, St. George's, died on Saturday, 11th March 2023 at the age of 78, left to mourn his wife Joan Aird, daughter Karina Aird, many brothers and sisters including Winifred and Twine, Bernadette Bowen, Joanna and Patsy Jones, many nieces and nephews, many in-laws including Mrs. Veronica Redhead and Godfrey Ventor, workers at the Grenada Conference of Seventh-day Adventists and members of the Seventh-day Adventist churches across Grenada. Many other relatives and friends including the Aird family of Independence Avenue, Francis James and family, Brother Alan Medford and family, Brother Ralph Alexander and family, Mrs. Bernadine and Twine and family, all of Montmoritz, Mrs. Denise James and family, Nina Grant and family, Nathaniel Harry, Mrs. Monica Charles, the doctors and nurses of the General Hospital, including Dr. Hostin, Dr. Thomas, Dr. Francis Martin, Dr. Emma Thompson, Dr. Fleury, Nurse Thomas, Nurse Marishu, Nurse Ross and family of New Hampshire, and friends and caregivers at Spice Residential Care Facility. The funeral service for the late Cosmas Ezekiel Aird, also known as Brother Aird, of Lamode and Tempe St. George and H.A. Blair Street, St. George's, will take place on Tuesday, March 21st at 11 a.m. Funeral service will be held at the St. George's Seventh-day Adventist Church, Archibald Avenue, followed by interment at the Wilberforce Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Edward Philip, also known as Briner, of Grand Bacalet St. Andrew, passed away on Monday, 6th March 2023 at the age of 63. He was the husband of Patricia Braffett, father of Candy Ann and Leslyn in the UK, Davis, Vernon, Brian, Lisa, Kizzy, Charmaine, Joshua and Jaheem, grandfather of Jamal, Omar, Brianna, Sophia and Ebony, son of Sheila Allard, brother of Meona George and Alan Allard in Grenada, Hyacinth Philip, Henry Allard and Vicklin Philip in the USA, father-in-law of Alvin Mahone, Robert Bernard and Richard Albert, brother-in-law of Irvin George and Joyce Bishop, uncle of many including Nicoyan, Sadifa, Rachel, Chanel, Melissa, Samantha, Craig, and Kyle. Many cousins, other relatives, and close friends, including the Allard, Braffett, Mahone, Weston, and Alexander families, and friends and neighbours of Grand Bacalet and surrounding areas. The funeral service for the late Edward Philip, also known as Briner, of Grand Bacalet St. Andrew, will take place on Wednesday, 22nd March at 1 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the Grand Bacalet Baptist Church, and interment will be at the family cemetery, Grand Bacalet. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Anthony McQueen, also known as Anthony Hillard Chambers, Captain and Black, of Grand Roy, who resided at Upper Depredin Street, Grove, St. John, passed away on Sunday, March 5, 2023, at the age of 83. He was the father of Terry Lee and Angela Lee in Trinidad, grandfather of Sheldon, Declan, Jude, Nicholas, and Joseph Jones in Trinidad, great-grandfather of 11, brother of Derek and Frank Chambers, brother-in-law of Marie Chambers, nephew of Cecilia Mabel McEwen, uncle of Claudius, Delino, Errol, Norma and Silda Sylvester, Doriel and Leslyn Batiste, Kevin and Selena McQueen, Josephine St. Louis, Beverly and Angela Toussaint. Many other relatives and friends, including Evelyn, Jean, Grenke's caregivers, the Chambers, McEwen and Samuel families of Marigot, Grand Roy and Grove, the fishermen of Grove, and friends and neighbors of Grand Roy, Grove, and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Anthony McQueen, also known as Anthony Hillard Chambers, Captain and Black, of Grand Roy, who resided at Upper Depredin Street, Grove, St. John, will take place on Wednesday, March 22nd at 1 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the St. Peter's R.C. Church, Grove, and interment will be at the Douglaston Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Alistair Gordon Fortune, also known as David Fortune, of Park Lane, St. George's, died on Wednesday, March 8, 2023, at the age of 69. Left to mourn are his two sisters, Germaine Fortune in Grenada and Carol Pear in the USA, nieces Keisha Pear in the US and Charlene Phillip in Grenada, nephews Roger Pear in the USA, Kurt Devonish and Ferdinand Phillip in Grenada. Many other relatives and friends, including Betha Dicoto and family in the UK, Anne-Marie and Ken Lewis and family in the USA, Willen and Beverly Ryan and family in the USA, Anne Fortune and family in the US, Mr. Arthur Phillip and family in Canada, Stephanie and Clive Alexander and family in Trinidad, Gerald Thompson and family, Barbara and Nat Simpson and family, Ashley Wint and family, June Stewart and family, the Thomas family, the Devonish and Phillip families, Kamala Donald, Madeline Batiste and Frankie Templeman, Dr. Emma Harry Thompson, Archdeacon Michael Marshall and the St. George's Anglican community, including Mrs. Pamela Steele, Orslyn Williams, Valerie Rameau, Gertrude Niles, Vernon Marshall, Hazelyn Griffith, Sherma Stevenson, and Rohan Forsyth, and friends and neighbours of the Coronage, H.A. Blair Street, and Park Lane, St. George's. The funeral of the late Alistair Gordon Fortune, also known as David Fortune, of Park Lane, St. George's, will take place on Wednesday, 22nd March at 1 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the St. George's Anglican Church, Church Street, and entombment will be at the Top Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Godfrey Lawrence, also known as Wagar, of Mount Pleasant, Carriacou, who resided at Paradise St. Andrew, passed away on Monday, March 13, 2023, at the age of 72. He was the brother of Agnes Lawrence of Birchgrove St. Andrew and George Lawrence in the USA, uncle of Timothy, Camina Lopez, Jemry, Steve, Kim Abigail, and Londa Lawrence, grand-uncle of Emerson Lopez, Timothy Jr., Kamisha, Anton, Delona, and Angelique, uncle-in-law of Tonya St. Louis Lawrence, Jacqueline Lawrence, Ty Edmola, and Domingo Lopez. Many other relatives and friends, including Brittany, Hermie, Helen, Raphael, the Lawrence family of Carriacou and in Grenada, the Boys on the Block at Paradise, and friends and neighbors in Carriacou and Paradise. The funeral service for the late Godfrey Lawrence, also known as Wagar, of Mount Pleasant, Carriacou, who resided at Paradise St. Andrew, will take place on Wednesday, 22nd March at 2 p.m. Funeral service and interment will be held at the Grand Bras Cemetery, according to Seventh-day Adventist rites. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Guy Scipio Mitchell, also known as George Mitchell, of St. David, who resided at High Street, Satire St. Patrick, and in London, England, a former police officer, passed away on April 15, 2020 in the United Kingdom, at the age of 92. He was the husband of Elaine Mitchell, many children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, and in-laws. Other relatives and friends including friends and neighbors of Satires, St. David, and in the United Kingdom. A memorial service for the late Guy Scipio Mitchell, also known as George Mitchell of St. David, who resided at High Street, Satire St. Patrick, and in London, England, will be held at the St. Patrick Catholic Church, Satires, on Wednesday, 22nd March at 1 p.m., followed by interment of his ashes at the Churchyard Cemetery. Arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home.
Anthony Benedict Etienne, also known as Cess and Tony of Lasagne St. David, passed away on Saturday, 18th February, at the age of 61. He was the wife of Amelia Etienne, mother of Agnes Etienne Smart, brother of Gordon in the U.S., Leroy and Emron, sisters of Janice, Antia and Madonna. Children, Kenita, Kinder, Samantha, and Katisha. Stepchildren, Ron in Canada, Asha, Ronisha, and Rondell. Many nieces and nephews, including Shanta, Shakel, Kizim, Cassandra, DeAndre, Tira, Siobhan, and Elon. Mother-in-law of Teresa Thomas in Trinidad. Son-in-law, Sherwin John. Brothers and sisters-in-law in Grenada, Canada, Trinidad, and the USA, too numerous to mention. Several grandchildren, including Jamel Brathwaite, Michael, and Nicholson. Other relatives and friends, including members of his church, Rock in the Weary Land, the Bagwans in St. David, Fimba Thomas, Lincoln, Linky and family of Fenton Village in Grandant, Roseanne of St. David, friends of Coast Gap and surrounding areas of St. David. The funeral of the late Anthony Benedict Etienne, also known as Cess and Tony, of Lasagne St. David, will take place on Wednesday, 22nd March at 12 noon. The funeral service will be held at the Lasagne Church of Christ, and the interment will be at the Corinth Cemetery. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home.
Monica Agnes Lewis, also known as Granny and Auntie Baba, of Springs St. George, passed away on Friday, March 10th, 2023, at the age of 97. Left to cherish her memory are her children Eric, Stanley, Myrna, Eugene, Earl, and Hazel Ann Hagley. Grandchildren Zoe, Tahira, Kimberly and Dwight Hagley in the USA, Amel Gibbs in Romania, Abigail Hagley Hayes in Jamaica, Ashley Gibbs and Siobhan Hagley in Grenada. Great-grandchildren Brenda, AJ, Alyssa, Tiana, Seda, and Nathaniel, all in the USA. Siblings Sylvia Aban in Grenada and Odette Lewis in the United Kingdom. Many nieces and nephews including Anne-Marie, Amril, Hallman, Jory and Justin Aban, Rachel Alette in the UK, Monica and Anne-Marie Lewis in the USA, Trudy and Devera Butcher in Trinidad. Many in-laws including Keith Gibbs, Patricia and Yolande Hagley. Other relatives and friends including Cicely Romaine and family in Canada, Joyce Johnson and family, Oslin Alette and family in the UK, Wendy Vincent and family in the USA, Patricia James and family in the US, the Hagley family, Marilyn Pascal Joseph in Canada, Ian Babb, Annette Seeley, Dr. Carlene Patrick, Vera Baldio, Patrick Pascal and Matthew Alexander, and neighbours and friends of Springs and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Monica Agnes Lewis, also known as Granny or Auntie Baba, of Springs St. George, will take place on Thursday, 23rd March at 10 a.m. Funeral service will be held at the Garden of Remembrance Funeral Home, Lacroix Brothers Chapel, Cemetery Hill, St. George's, and entombment will be at the St. George's Centre Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Bernard Jerry George, also known as Black Boy and Plim, of Café Crochet St. Andrew, passed away on Saturday, 25th February 2023, at the age of 65. He was the father of Desiree Felix, grandfather of Caden Walters and Tariq Felix, father-in-law of Kenneth Walters, brother of David Knights, Leslie Knights, Victor Knights, also known as Brown, Eddie George and Sherma Alexander in Canada, and Francisca George, adopted brother of Maria Fletcher, brother-in-law of Glenna Knights, Paula George in Canada, Lynette Knights in England, Gloria Tompkin in the USA, and Ruth Van Hamilton in Trinidad. Uncle of 25, grand-uncle of 36. Many other relatives and friends including Glenda Forsyth and family, the McIntosh, Knights and Macmillan families, Japal and family, June and family, Francis and family, Fraser and family, Cassandra and family, Shermanda Benjamin, the boys by the shop, and friends and neighbours of Crochet and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Bernard Jerry George, also known as Black Boy and Plim, of Café Crochet St. Andrew, will take place on Thursday, 23rd March at 1:30 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the St. Martin de Porres Catholic Church, Crochet St. Andrew, and interment will be at the Churchyard Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home. Solomon Henry Modeste, also known as Solo or Bedman, of Paradise St. Andrew, died on Saturday, 11th March 2023, at the age of 88. Left to mourn children Donald Modeste, Marilee Edwards, Denise Modeste, Bernard Modeste, Greta Joseph, Fleming Williams, Alison Williams, Leroy Williams, Rupert Williams, Marlene Walker, Gretlin Walker, and Glenroy Corion. Many grandchildren and great-grands. Daughters-in-law Deborah Modeste, Keisha Modeste, Ozra Williams, and Keisha Bowen Modeste. Son-in-law Cyril Edwards. Other friends including the members of the Taxi Association and neighbours of Paradise and Dunfermline St. Andrew. The funeral of the late Solomon Henry Modeste, also known as Solo or Beardman, of Paradise St. Andrew, will take place on Thursday, 23rd March at 2 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the St. Andrew's Catholic Church, and interment will be at the Grand Bras Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Jarville Reynolds Dave Matthew, also known as Doc and Educator, of Woodford St. John, passed away on Friday, 30th December 2022 in Cuba, at the age of 29. He was the son of Dale Matthew, husband of Desiree Cajo Matthew, father of Kyrie Matthew, stepfather of Zaniah Joseph, brother of Renelle Matthew, uncle of Roya Nichols, nephew of Cherry Ann Matthew Snag in Canada, Donna Cador Chance, Alice Cador Mitchell, Sally Ann Cador and Denise Plaza in the USA, Ronnie Matthew and Keldon Edwin, son-in-law of Princess Cajo. Many other relatives and close friends including the Cador, Matthew, Langine, Charles, Wellington, Nichols, Simon, Protein, Cajo and Louison families, the staff of the Dental Clinic and Association, parishioners of Lady of the Rosary and Christ the King Parish, and friends and neighbours of Woodford and surrounding areas. The funeral service for the late Jarville Reynolds Dave Matthew, also known as Doc and Educator, of Woodford St. John, will take place on Thursday, 23rd March at 12 noon. Funeral service will be held at the St. Peter's Roman Catholic Church Grove, and interment will be at the Douglaston Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home. Athelin Shade, also known as Waddy, of Mount Pleasant, Carriacou, passed away on Tuesday, March 7th, 2023, at the age of 92. She was the sister of Hilda McIntosh and Ayula Shade, aunt of Sarah Lynn Patterson, Cynthia Davidson, Joyce, Carly and Jimmy, Lydia, Deborah, George, Franklin, Merle, William, Victor, Valesta, Nella, Jillian, Junior, and Andrew. Godmother of many, including George Andrew. Caregivers Altris Matheson and Theodora Modeste. Other relatives and friends including the Shade, Blaise, and Aki families, Sheila Griffith, Godfrey McIntosh, Aini Clement, the Joseph family of Petite Martinique, Phyllis Edwards, Ruby Mills, Angela Cutane, Merle Quashie, Judith Date, Dr. Tyrone Davis and staff of the Mount Pleasant Clinic, Rosina and family, and Godwin Charles in Aruba, and neighbours of Mount Pleasant and Grand Bay Carriacou and surrounding areas too numerous to mention. The funeral of the late Athlin Shade, also known as Waddy, of Mount Pleasant Carriacou, will take place on Friday, March 24th at 10 a.m. Funeral service will be held at the Christ the King Anglican Church, Hillsborough, Carriacou, and entombment will be at the Grand Bay Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Errol Bruno, also known as Sodas, of St. Paul St. George, former employee of the St. George's University School of Medicine, passed away on Wednesday, 8th March 2023, at the age of 72. He was the husband of Joan Bruno, also known as Teacher Joan, father of Daniel Bruno Charles, Granelle Bruno Noel, and Javon Bruno, grandfather of Jadon, Jaya, Donjay, and Malala, brother of Erlin Bruno, Everett Bruno in Canada, and Gloria Depradine in the USA, uncle of Tanya and Tamara Lambert, Dion and Garfield, Nia and Nessia, father-in-law of Lyndon Charles and Sheldon Noel, brother-in-law of Patricia Steele, Kathleen Williams, Leonie Bruno, Audrey McLean, Val Bruno, and Ingrid Jean Batiste, cousin of Derek Benoit, Carmen Lewis, James, Dorothy, Joan, Brenda, Beverly, Brian, Jean, and Cecil. Many close friends, including Keith Gilks and family, Keith Newell and family, O'Brien Robinson, Melissa Joycelyn, Shanitra Clark, Reginald Andel, Reuben Raymond, Lyndon Thomas, Matthew and Janice Batiste, Crofton Batiste, Stanley Grimes, Denise DeCoto, Greta and Merle James, Lee, Micah and Michelle Charles, the Caesar, Grant, and Bruno families. Many other relatives and friends, including Reverend Mark and parishioners of St. David and St. Paul's Anglican Church, Pastor Charles Gittins, the elders and members of the Corinth Seventh-day Adventist Church, the staff of the St. George's University, members of CTEX shareholders, staff of the Anglican High School, nurses Carol, Dolly, Bagwan, Jeremiah, and Batiste, the Oncology Department, and nurses of the Good Hope Medical Station, and friends and neighbors of St. Paul's and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Errol Bruno, also known as Sodas, of St. Paul St. George, will take place on Friday 24th March at 1 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the St. Paul's Catholic Church according to Anglican rites, and interment will be at the Anglican Churchyard Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home.
Agnes Joseph of Leicester, Carriacou, passed away on Friday, 3rd March, at the age of 82. She was the wife of Theo Joseph, mother of Patrick and Roger Joseph, grandmother of Brittany Douglas, Liam, and Dominic Joseph, great-grandmother of Eli, Rosa, Curtis, and Martha, sister of Winston, James, Martin, and Conrad Lewis, Laura, Linda, Dinah Margaret, and Mary, brother-in-law of Edward, Danny, Rufus, Simon, Mark, Eunice Quashie, Felicity Billy, Vina Paulson, Olive Placid, Margaret Joseph, and Marlene Thomas, aunt of many too numerous to mention, close cousin of many including Adela and Linda Joseph, Flourish John and Lionel Gabriel, close friend of Sonia Brown and Tora Steele. Many other relatives and close friends including Joseph, John and Louis families, Placid, Sylvester, Annis Benjamin, Valerie, Louis Lawrence, Christina Brown, Haylett family, Cummins family, Stephen Clement, Danlin Stanislaus, Douglas family, and Virginia Benjamin, friends and neighbors of Leicester and surrounding areas too numerous to mention. The funeral of the late Agnes Joseph of Leicester Carriacou will take place on Friday, 24th March at 1 p.m. The funeral service will be held at the Leicester Rosary Catholic Church, and the interment will be at the family cemetery on the pond. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home.
Ignatius Loftus Purcell, affectionately known as Palouf or Whitehead, of Vincent St. David, who resided in the USA, passed away on Thursday, 9th March 2023 in the USA at the age of 91. He was the father of Patricia Thomas, Grace Gabriel, Kent, Julian, Alistair, Fabian, and Junior Purcell, grandfather of Richard Thomas, Kenesha Gabriel, Savio and Aline, Abijah Purcell, Aaliyah Matthew in the USA, Steve, Leanne, Johan, Rohan, Ashley and Megan Purcell in Grenada, great-grandfather of Jamal and Zoe Andrew, Jaden Thomas, Kenzie Gabriel and Kamarli Purcell, great-great-grandfather of Josiah, Shiloh and Zane Andrew, brother of Raymond James and Daisy Hercules, father-in-law of Clement Gabriel, Deborah Benjamin Purcell, Durney, Lorna, Patricia and Donna Purcell, uncle of many including Douglas Victor, Pastor Judith Lett, Barbara Fraser, Kenny Victor, Lydia Buckmeyer, Willen Victor, Andre Purcell, and Teresa McQuilkin, caregiver Audrey Lett. Several relatives and friends in Grenada and Trinidad, including Curlin Phillips, Sylvia Prince, Maria Gray, the Greenwich, Mason, MacDonald, Gabriel, Lett and Radix families, Marjorie Jeremiah and family, the Purcell, Hagley, Victor, Braffett and Brazan families, the family and staff of L.A. Purcell, the parish priest and parishioners of St. Teresa's R.C. Church, and the Vincent Sports and Culture Club, and friends and neighbors of Vincent's and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Ignatius Loftus Purcell, affectionately known as Palouf and Whitehead, of Vincent St. David, who resided in the USA, will take place on Saturday, 25th March at 9:30 a.m. in the USA at the Our Lady of Miracles R.C. Church, Brooklyn, New York. Viewing will be held on Friday, 24th March from 5 to 7 p.m. at Harmony Funeral Home. Arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home. David Rochester Wilson, also known as Edgar, of Harveyvale, Carriacou, passed away on Sunday, 12th March 2023 at the age of 75. He was the husband of Christine Wilson, father of Petrina, Helen, Paula, Kevin, Alexis, and Princess, grandfather of 20, great-grandfather of 6, brother of Anne, also known as Verilyn, Margaret, also known as Dessa, Celestina, Susanna, also known as Sue, Menelvia, Elaine, Beatrice, Keturah, also known as Narissa, and Winifred, also known as Alma, Samuel, also known as Edison, John, also known as Desmond, Winston, and Sonny, brother-in-law of Ethlyn, Merlin, Joycelyn, Kay, Newmalane, Pat and Aliana, Joseph, Paul, Davidson, Fabian, Thomas, Hubert, Cosmas, and Cornelius, father-in-law of Winston Hurst and Jody. Many nieces and nephews too numerous to mention. Many other relatives and close friends, including the Wilson and Alexis families, the Foray and Mathurin families, and friends and neighbors of Harveyvale, Belmont, Bellevue South, and surrounding areas, and in the USA and UK, too numerous to mention. The funeral of the late David Rochester Wilson, also known as Edgar, of Harveyvale, Carriacou, will take place on Monday, 27th March at 1 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the St. Francis Anglican Church, Harveyvale, and interment will be at the Harveyvale Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home.
Margaret Mapson of Westerhall St. David passed away on Thursday, 16th March, at the age of 75. The funeral arrangements of the late Margaret Mapson of Westerhall St. David will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Ricky Elvis Alexander, also known as Sanchez of Malmount St. David, passed away on Saturday, 11th March, at the age of 55. The funeral arrangements of the late Ricky Elvis Alexander also known as Sanchez of Malmount St. David, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home.
Danny Moses, also known as Fig, of Victoria St. Mark, passed away on Wednesday, 8th March 2023, at the age of 52. The funeral arrangements for the late Danny Moses, also known as Fig, of Victoria St. Mark, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Doris Robert, also known as Mummy Doris of Subi St. Andrew, passed away on Friday, 10th March 2023, at the age of 85. The funeral arrangements for the late Doris Robert, also known as Mummy Doris of Subi St. Andrew, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home.
The management and staff of MTV extend deepest condolences to those of you whose loved ones have passed on. Thank you for watching.
I just want to express my sympathy with all those of you who have lost your loved ones. We know it is not an easy piece to lose somebody that you love dearly. But death is not the end.